Morning saw South African startup airline Lift taking to the skies with its inaugural flight. It was between Johannesburg's OR Tambo International Airport and Cape Town International. Now, Lift's launch comes in a year that I would suggest goes down as probably the worst ever in global aviation history. But Gidon Novick, the airline's co-founder, has a different view and joins me now on Thursday lunchtime. Gidon, good afternoon to you. Welcome. Day one, I trust, was smooth. But of course, this isn't your first rodeo, is it?
It's not. It's been a great day so far, not without its hiccups, some inevitable teething issues, which is keeping us all busy, but incredibly successful overall. In fact, our first flight out of Cape Town went off early, which made us all very happy. But yeah, I suppose getting to this point has been a long road, and we're happy to be up in the air.
You can't tell me there were teething issues without extrapolating a little bit for me. What were the problems?
Oh, you know, there's inevitable system issues, Jeremy. We had to integrate our systems with the eNCA network. That was delayed, so we had to do some manual processes, which take longer than automated processes. So things like that set us back 15 or 20 minutes on some flights. But we're learning fast, and we've got an incredible team that are picking things up and solving problems by the minute.
Gidon, when you spoke to the channel yesterday, you were pushing brand, you were pushing innovation, you were pushing benefit of that. But in South Africa, surely it comes down to price of tickets. The more competitive you are, the more people are going to support you. We're not really that brand loyal, are we, to airlines?
For the most part, you're right. Price is really important. Affordability is a big issue. In fact, we've seen prices are particularly low at the moment, and that's opened up the market tremendously. I was on a flight this morning, and there were just so many people that would not have flown if not for lower airfares, would not have connected with their families. So a lot of goods coming out of it. You know, the level of competition in the industry, certainly.
What mistakes from Kulula, the airline that you launched some years ago, were there that you won't make when it comes to this new venture?
Jeremy, I think the main thing is the business structure. You know, the airline businesses need to be able to sustain themselves during good times and bad. And in order to sustain during bad times, the balance sheet's got to be strong. Companies can't be over-indebted, which puts them under tremendous pressure during bad times. So I think just being conservative and not having big levels of debt is really important, and also having the flexibility. We've seen how dramatic a pandemic can be to the industry, and I think one has to plan around the fact that external factors are going to play a big part, and one has to have a very flexible and agile model to be able to deal with that.
Gidon Novick, your launch comes as the national carrier remains grounded in all sorts of difficulty. I would imagine as an airline like Lift takes to the skies, it's probably going to make SAA's comeback, if it ever happens, all the more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, the private sector's, generally doing a pretty good job. You know, there's always been airlines willing to give it a go and be competitive and bring airfares down. And on your point earlier, airfares are really important, but so is service, and so are things like flexibility. You know, with COVID, people have really needed flexibility in terms of their planning, the ability to change the ticket, cancel a ticket if circumstances change. So there is a lot of value, we believe, that can be added to the overall experience, with flexibility being the most important.
Just looking forward, and a final question to you. What's the big picture here? Ultimately, what size fleet are you going to have? And apart from Johannesburg, Cape Town that I've already mentioned, what else?
Well, you know, we're going to stick to Joburg, Cape Town. We're not going to be overly ambitious. We want to do what we do really, really well. We don't have to be big to be successful. And I think particularly given the risk factors that we've spoken about, I think starting off small and conservative, not taking on debt, is a really important part of the business model.
Gidon Novick, co-founder, Lift Airlines, thank you very much for joining us.